Welcome, everybody, to Saint Denis, the Jewel of Lemoyne. The largest settlement ever featured in a Red Dead game is a melting pot where industry magnates, socialites, traders, sailors, workers, beggars and thieves all live side by side. It's far from a harmonious combination by any means. However, business in Saint Denis is booming, one way or the other. This city is heavily industrialized. It has large factories pumping out black smoke, an intricate tramway system throughout the entire city, a large docks for trade to come in via boat, as well as more aesthetic areas featuring large mansions for the city's elite. The city of Saint Denis is incredibly diverse, featuring residents from various backgrounds, religions, and even ethnic groups. And sadly, not everybody stands to benefit from the business booming in the big city. As with anywhere of this scale, when it comes to capitalism, you have the exploited and the exploiters. And that's not necessarily what this video is about. But today's video's topic should come as no surprise. You can disguise it in glamour as much as you want, but the truth is, this city is rotten to its very core. In today's video, we're going to be exploring the corruption of Saint Denis. Not much is known about the history of Saint Denis. All we know is, by the events of Red Dead Redemption 2, it has existed for well over a century. And during the American Civil War, the state of Lemoyne was allied with the Confederacy, making Saint Denis a heavy target for Union forces. During this conflict, the city would be damaged, and would be repaired following the conflict with aid from New York financier J.D. McKnight and industrialist Leviticus Cornwall. Cornwall is a man the Van der Linde gang has had various run-ins with up until this point, and whilst it's interesting that he undoubtedly has connections to the city, it's not the reason why the Van der Linde gang have come here. At the end of chapter 3, Jack Marston is taken by the Braithwaite family. After a fiery confrontation, Catherine Braithwaite discloses that Jack Marston has been given to Angelo Bronte in Saint Denis. Not knowing much more than a name and a place, hellbent on recovering the child, the gang head into the big city. Arthur Morgan quickly realizes that people seem to know the name Angelo Bronte, but people are also reluctant to talk about him.
Now, how can I help? You look like a whiskey man.
Sure.
$1, please.
For a whiskey?
Oh, that's the real stuff. From Scotland.
Okay. Here, have one for yourself.
Well, thank you.
So, mister, can I ask you a question? You ever hear of a fella by the name of Bronte?
Who's asking?
Me. I'm asking.
No, leave it, friend.
What do you mean, leave it?
Look, I don't know what business you in, but leave it, friend. You and your pal that was in here before.
Bronte? Angelo Bronte? Mr. Big, Mr. Italian spaghetti-eating, long streak of piss big. He makes my skin crawl. So squally a cocksucker. You know what I mean, friend?
Where can I find him?
Oh, well, I reckon you can talk to them kids in the alley. They'll know how to get.
It doesn't take us too long to discover that Mr. Bronte appears to have connections to street urchins. So of course we head into the alley as instructed and find these kids who supposedly know Mr. Bronte.
Hey, you got a cigarette, mister?
Maybe.
Huh?
I'm looking for a fellow named Angelo Bronte. Italian.
I know him. Everyone knows him.
Where is he?
We'll take you to him. What it'll cost?
I reckon I can pay.
$5.
Where's he live? New York?
I'm an entrepreneur. If you don't want to pay, then I don't want to walk.
Here. Come on.
This way. Let's go, mister. You coming, Cleet?
Now we get a short tour from this child before his friend robs us, so we have to chase him.
Get going! He's coming after us!
Ah, God damn it!
Bye, mister!
It's pretty difficult to catch the kid, but regardless of how this mission ends, we discover where to find Mr. Bronte.
You little bastard!
I was just playing.
Give me my things back.
Get off me, mister. I'm a good boy. I wash.
Give me my things.
Here.
Bronte?
At home.
Where?
The big house on Flavian Street opposite the park.
Okay.
Welcome to Saint Denis, mister. It's quite a town.
Get lost.
So now we know where to go. A big house on Flavian Street across from a park. Naturally, we've now got to relay that information to Dutch before we do anything else about it.
Where you been?
Getting robbed?
Who by?
Bunch of children.
I won't inquire anymore.
But I found Mr. Bronte. Seems to be some Italian Mr. Big in town. Everybody knows him, but nobody wants to talk about him. Apparently lives in a big house on Flavian Street opposite the park.
Good work.
So what now?
We go pay him a visit. I'll get John, you meet us there. Whatever it takes, we need to get that boy back.
So now the plan is to head over to Angelo Bronte's house on Flavian Street and attempt at all costs to get Jack Marston back. In order to ensure the child's safety, Dutch, Arthur and John employ a more diplomatic approach.
Excuse me, sir. We have an appointment to see Mr. Bronte.
Who are you?
You get your boss down here and now so we can talk about this like gentlemen. Run along now, boy.
Interestingly, his property is crawling in what can only be described as armed gangsters. Fortunately, it means we get a rapid response to our heavy-handed approach at the gate, and we're quickly brought to their boss, the man we came to see.
Chi sono sti buffoni?
Sono qui per Picciotto.
Coi soldi?
Why do you take his son?
Excuse me.
I said, why did you take his son? We ain't got no problems with you, sir. Nor you with us. But if you want to start one, there's gonna be a lot of folks dead in this room before it's done.
So, you walk into my city, stinking of shit and looking like this, and you come into my house before you have a bath and you tell me how to act? You ask me to show compassion. Have I not shown you almost infinite compassion already by simply allowing you to breathe in my presence?
Indeed you have. We are simple country folk. All we have is each other. And you have gone and you have took his son over some dispute with some inbred ex-slavers. It ain't got nothing to do with any one of us.
You had nothing to do with destroying the liquor business!
We was innocent bystanders. And that which we weren't innocent of, well, we most surely were ignorant of.
You twist words, you lie shamelessly, you think you are better than everyone else. Ti adoro. Vattene a bere sti uomini. Angelo Bronte.
Dutch Vanderlyn, Arthur Morgan,
Arthur, the pleasure is mine.
John Marston.
All mine, please.
So, can my friend have his son?
Of course, of course. But, should I be out of pocket over a misunderstanding? Of course I know you would not want that, huh?
No.
No. So, how about this? You perform a simple job for me, and you get your son back.
What is it?
A couple of people have taken to grave robbing in this cemetery.
Well, that is a fine place for it, the best.
I love this guy. I love you. See, they've taken not only to desecrating the dead, but they've done so without paying a tribute to the living. Thing is, they see my men, of course they run them out. So maybe you two head off, huh? And you, Mr. Van der Linde, you tell me more about my manners. Salute.
Salute.
In order to ensure Jack's safe return, John and Arthur must go and deal with some grave robbers over at the cemetery who failed to pay Angelo Bronte tribute before they carried out their crimes. Effectively, they're on his turf and must be dealt with. He explains that if he sent his men in, of course these grave robbers would run for the hills. So it shows that he is feared. So naturally we go and deal with the problem.
You boys found my pappy's watching! We sure picked the right night for it. Nice shooting, Arthur.
Can hardly see what I'm shooting at.
If it moves, blast it!
Damn it!
You alright?
I'm fine.
I think that's all of them. Alright. Now let's find their stash.
Think there might be something in here. Got it.
Good. Now let's get out of here. Damn, the law's here. Come on, let's see if that gate's open.
After evading the law and escaping the graveyard, we head back to Angelo Bronte's mansion.
Well, you took your time.
Jack,
Where's your host?
Like I said, you took your time.
I'm glad to see you.
Let's get going. What a fine man. Hey, friend, thank Mr. Bronte
You all
for
right?
everything.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Come on.
You know, Arthur, Mr. Bronte has invited us to a garden party at the mayor's house. And us, just simple country boys.
True to his word, Bronte has given Jack back to us, and has also invited us, by extension to Dutch, to a garden party at the mayor's house. It's interesting when you take into consideration this dialogue exchange between John and Arthur earlier in the mission.
Do you trust one word that comes out of that bastard's mouth? We don't even know where Jack is.
Listen, we found Bronte. We got in there. Dutch is with him now. All things considered, it could have gone a lot worse.
Let's just get back there, collect our side of the deal.
You all right?
He best not be playing games with us.
He almost certainly is. Let's just see. Keep your head. Act normal.
Arthur suspects that Bronte is playing games. Why would he invite us to mingle with Saint Denis high society? On the ride back, we discover that he treated Jack quite well. But besides that, he appears to be an arrogant crime lord holding a lot of power within Saint Denis.
You had a nice night then?
Most enjoyable. Well, the man's an intolerable blowhard, but he stocks a fine bar.
So, what'd you say this was? A garden party? Ugh.
A big gala at the mayor's house. I'm told every rich fool in Lemoyne will be there.
Bronte?
Oh, he'll be there too. Seems to more or less run this city. At least, that's the way he sees it. Could open up some opportunities for us. It's been a chaotic few days, but we can finally move forward now. Get the money we need and disappear.
You'd be right to assume that something seems peculiar here. A man who uses underhanded tactics to effectively run a city isn't going to take kindly to a gang of outlaws from the countryside making their way into his turf. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Angelo Bronte is playing us. But regardless, we head to the garden party anyway, so we can understand his sphere of influence a bit from that. Turns out he's away from the general rabble on a private balcony. But this is the mayor's house, so it's quite clear that he has a connection there.
Ah, the angry cowboys, you arrived. And you've washed per la prima volta questo mese, senza dubbio.
This is quite a party you've invited us to.
Yes, quite something. Although I'm not quite sure what.
So, this is Saint Denis High Society.
Yes, apparently so.
And all these people, these are friends of yours, Senor Bronte?
No, not quite, not quite. But they certainly are afraid of me. Like that one. See that wretch? He's the mayor. Henri Lemieux. He'll do anything for $1, and I mean anything.
Politics is a foul business.
Yes. Oh, and that one too. That is Alberto Fuzar. He owns a sugar plantation out on the island, and he comes here to whore and despoil himself. And that is Hobart Crawley, a Confederate major in the war. And a hero, they say, but that is his very young wife. I mean, a young mistress, that's the natural order of things, yes, but a young wife is unseemly. Oh, the Redskins. I have no sympathy for them, because whoever is stupid enough to get tricked by the Americans, no, they get what they deserve, huh? Yes, and a letter to the mayor. Oh, yeah, that'll save you. And that is Hector Fellows, this self-righteous newspaper man. Maybe you will kill him for me one day.
Well, we're not paid killers as such, not in cold blood anyway.
I did not know you were so particular that you wouldn't help a friend.
Oh, I'm willing to help in any way I can, within reason.
I'm going to pretend to understand what that means.
I meant no offense, sir.
None taken. None taken! All these vulgar people, they hate me. Non vedo l'ora di guardarti morire.
Well, it has been wonderful conversing with you, but I can tell that you are very busy, and I won't waste any more of your time.
Yes. Go, enjoy yourselves, and mingle with this vulgar scum. It'll make you long for the days when you could shoot each other and screw cows out on the open range.
Those sure were the days. Good day, gentlemen.
Good day to you. But before you go, what exactly are your plans here?
Well, we've not made any... Well, we are going to need some money.
Money, yes, of course. But there's money at the trolley station. They keep a lot of cash there in the day. Now, I could not involve myself in such matters. But you... As a guest, yes. As my guest, bah, do it, huh? Okay, good day, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
We learn that Bronte is feared by these other people within Saint Denis' higher social circles. So far we've focused primarily on Bronte, but we've come to understand that he runs an effective mafia within the city. Despite being a criminal, he appears to be in good with the mayor, considering the mayor's allowed him to be on a balcony away from the general rabble of the festivities. The mayor of Saint Denis is corrupt in his own right, but we'll get to that in a bit. Eagle-eyed players will realise that Bronte points out Alberto Fuzar, who becomes the antagonist of Chapter 5 set on Guarma, a corrupt dictator of Guarma who comes to Saint Denis to despoil himself as far as Bronte is concerned. But there could be more to this. The plantations on Guarma, under Fuzar's control, are run primarily by indentured servants. And in Saint Denis we can encounter a man named Brother Dawkins, who seems concerned with some illegal dealing in slaves in the city.
Poverty will always be with us. But slavery, I thought we had banished that. Like Saint Denis is acting as a staging post for shipping slaves out to some of the islands.
I don't believe you. It's 1899.
Maybe you should take a look for yourself. I've heard that the pawnbroker down the block around the corner, the one with the green door, well, they say he sells more than forlorn trinkets. Help the poor.
Dawkins' suspicions turn out to be true, as there are indeed prisoners being held in the basement of the Saint Denis fence. Since Fuzar uses what is effectively slave labour on his island, could that be where these people are headed? Could he be involved in their captivity here? This shows two things. Angelo Bronte's knowledge of the inner workings of Saint Denis' criminal circles is far from complete, but also Fuzar may have a more fitting purpose for being in Saint Denis than simply to commit acts of debauchery. Thankfully, we can rescue these poor fellas and save them the despair of a life of indentured servitude.
Brother
Dawkins, friend.
Arthur Morgan. Come on. You were right. I found these two imprisoned in that shop.
Oh my, well, they are blessed to have met you, Arthur.
Trust me, in that they're very unusual.
Back at the party, Dutch instructs us to find the mayor. So that's exactly what we do. We deal with a drunken nuisance, and then we have a brief conversation with him.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Henri Lemieux. I hope you're enjoying my party.
The mayor.
Allegedly.
That's quite a place you got here.
It's not mine, and the city is horribly in debt, but we can still put on a good show. Do you know Evelyn Miller?
My lord. Ryder?
Well, we seem to have another deranged drunkard on our hands.
Shall we?
The conversation is quickly cut short by the fireworks, but we learn the city of Saint Denis is in debt. And we also learn, thanks to one of Mayor Lemieux's servants, that he appears to be in business with Leviticus Cornwall, though the terms certainly are not amicable.
Monsieur, please. Mr. Cornwall was quite insistent, I'm afraid. He shouted down the telephone for several minutes.
Mr. Cornwall is a horse's ass, and a bad horse.
I'm very sorry, sir.
It's not your fault. I'm a fool for trusting him. I'll come in and sign it in a minute. Let me enjoy the fireworks.
Of course.
Did he say something about Cornwall?
Yes. Find out what.
Sure.
As we know in the main story, Leviticus Cornwall is a ruthless and arrogant robber baron of a man, a greedy magnate, whose only purpose is to make himself wealthier. He exploits the vulnerability of others if he believes it makes him turn a profit, and as we know, he's got previous affiliation with Saint Denis following the American Civil War, and he appears to be up to something again, and as the mayor disclosed to us, the city is horribly in debt. What dealings are going on between the mayor's office of Saint Denis and Leviticus Cornwall? Whilst tailing the servant, we also learn some interesting information about Angelo Bronte.
No problems? Everything's fine. We have the place well secured. Good. Mr. Bronte has a habit of wandering about and reading whatever he likes. We're watching him and his men like hawks. Thank you, Mr. Terrible.
We learn Bronte has a habit of mooching around the mayor's house and reading whatever document he fancies, learning more about the city than even the city is comfortable with him knowing. The police claim they are watching him, so it's very clear though despite, supposedly, he's good friends with the mayor, he is actively distrusted. The tale leads us up to the mayor's office where we can find a couple of documents.
Mr. Leviticus Cornwall. Top secret. Extremely confidential. Very interesting.
Now this letter can't be read, however there's a letter on the desk addressed to Angelo Bronte that can. Angelo, yet again the city is in debt to you and I am flabbergasted by your generosity. The magnificent gift you provided will prove to be a cornerstone in the financing of our dream of establishing a world-renowned university in our city. We are now well on our way with the funds necessary to found both the Divinity School and the Humanities College. Future students in Lemoyne owe a great debt to the vision of men such as you. I am forever grateful, your friend, Henri Lemieux. So we know Bronte, a known crime lord, is actively funding progress within the city of Saint Denis, meaning the mayor and by extension the city is in his debt, which is a powerful chip to be able to cash in. The correspondence with Leviticus Cornwall, on the other hand, cannot be read at any point. It cannot be read, but the takeaway is rather clear. The mayor of Saint Denis is in deep with some rather reprehensible people on both sides of the law. Anyway, for the time being, Angelo Bronte has told us that a good place to rob would be the trolley station within the city, as there's always loads of money there. However, upon robbing the place, it turns out the money held here is rather sparse, and the police show up awfully quickly.
There's almost nothing here.
There should be stacks of cash in there. He told us there was. Look again.
There's no stacks. A few dollars in coins, that's it. Damn!
We got a problem. There's a ton of cops out there.
Come on now! We got you surrounded!
That greasy son of a bitch! He set us up!
You think?
This seemed like a good time for sarcasm to you, Arthur.
What we gonna do, gentlemen?
Something!
It is clear that Angelo Bronte set us up to get caught here, showing his slimy, two-faced nature.
Next time, It's not damn discretion.
Seemed like a good lead.
I know, but...
Well, we made it. Thanks to you.
Don't mention it.
Yeah.
You're a good kid.
And we each got $15. Oh, and a quarter. Don't forget the quarter.
Shut up, Arthur. He set us up. Played me like a yokel. Put the law on us. What did we do to him? What did I do to him?
I guess he thinks he's the king around here. He don't want the likes of you.
It's clear that Angelo Bronte has connections to the police. He told them what was going down and when, and how to respond, so it's safe to say this crime boss of a man has his hooks as deep into this city as they can possibly get. The Van der Linde gang has officially made a powerful enemy, one that they now must dispose of. Arthur and Dutch ride out to Le Gras to meet a man named Thomas, who seems to also hold hatred for Bronte.
Now, my friend, can I call in that favor?
What do you need?
You know Angelo Bronte. Well, exactly. We need to make a social call. We were hoping you could row us in quietly one evening around the back of his house.
Well, if anyone can, I can.
We'll pay you for your trouble.
If you bringing him trouble, it won't be no trouble for me.
Good.
With that sorted, all that remains is to raid Angelo Bronte's house and kill the man, and prevent his interference in the Van der Linde gang from becoming an even bigger problem. During the raid on his estate, we can find some interesting information. After a leisurely shootout through his delightful gardens, we can enter the home where we will find a couple of documents. The first is a telegraph that reads as follows. Police Chief Lambert, need lot of men on the trolley station. No men in commercial district until I say otherwise. Angelo Bronte. Bronte is very directly giving orders to the police chief, meaning the police are effectively in his back pocket. And the second document is a ledger found in Bronte's mansion that appears to be a list of accounts, listing all of the businesses either under Bronte's direct ownership or control in June of 1899. So we now know Angelo Bronte, a criminal, has sway with both the mayor and the police, to the point where he can outright bark orders at authority, meaning he is effectively the authority of Saint Denis. He is the law, he is king. Well, not for much longer.
No, name your price. Name your price. Every man have a price. Eh? Okay. No, I surrender.
Should we kill him? Nah, let's take him to Dutch.
You can carry him. I ain't touching that piece of shit.
Yep.
Oh, hey, big man. We gonna ransom you or what?
You're pathetic.
Well, I am. Because from where I'm sitting, you're the one deserving of pity, my friend. All your men, all your money, it weren't no match for a bunch of bumpkins.
You are nothing. You do nothing. You mean nothing. You stand for nothing. Me, I run a city. And when the law catch up to you, you will die like nothing. I am this country. You are what people are running from.
I possess things that you will never understand.
You don't even possess your own men. $1,000 to the man who kills him and sets me free.
What are you gonna say now?
They are even bigger fools than you.
No doubt.
The law will find you. Already, the dogs are on the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. You are so right.
They are good at smelling filth, huh? So filth has got to be disposed of. Your friends, the patriots, gonna come and rescue you. You repulsive little maggot. Call them now. You call them.
Jesus.
Part of your philosophy books cover feeding a fella to a goddamn alligator, Dutch.
So that's one problem solved, at least for now anyway. He's not going to come back, so now we can focus on his friends. As it turns out, the mayor has a bit of an interest in us now as well.
I believe we've met.
We have?
At that ghastly party.
Oh, Evelyn Miller.
Unfortunately so, Mr.
Arthur Morgan, at least sometimes.
Can I say something rude?
Sure.
The mayor thinks you robbed him. To be clear, he wasn't very upset about it. He rather liked you.
Okay.
From Evelyn Miller in Chapter 4, we learn that the mayor believes we robbed him. In fairness, we kind of did. It won't be long before he sends a letter addressed to Tacitus Kilgore to meet him at night at his mansion.
Yes?
Sorry. I'm looking for, the mayor?
Yes. Please, Mr. Kilgore, or what was it?
I forget.
Quite. Welcome to government. Democracy. An interesting idea, huh? Monsieur Lemieux?
Oh, hello, friend.
Hello. Tacitus Kilgore.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, you are not going to rob me again, are you?
No. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. But you are not a very popular man. There's all kinds of nasty people want to speak to you, Mr. Tacitus.
I know.
They won't hear anything about you from me. But...
yeah, there's always a but.
Of course, I'm a politician.
Who needs killing?
Nobody. We're not savages, merely Frenchmen. Don't be ridiculous. Killing? Oh, dear. Terrifying, yes.
I suppose I can do that almost as well as kill.
I'm sure you can. Now, it's all very ethical. You see, I've been trying to open a major museum, a place of culture to elevate people's souls. And what do museums need? Art. And how do you buy art?
I don't know.
I buy art of some nasty little man from Paris selling me some destitute aristocrat's collection of old masters that it turns out he may have been painting himself.
Ouch.
Ouch indeed. But these are good paintings. I can't make the difference, and I'm French. Only this even nastier little man from New Haven has come here to verify my paintings, and he's saying that they're all fake.
So?
So perhaps he can be persuaded to revise his opinion.
Oh, he's been so beastly.
Exactly. Now, Jean-Marc, perhaps you can take Mr. Mr. Tacitus, to meet little Professor Shitface and have a word with him. Saint Denis welcomes you like a son, sir.
The mayor knows who we are, and he also wants us to aid him in coercing a man into appraising the art he purchased for a museum as authentic, even though they are bogus. Of course, there's nothing else to do but oblige for the time being and intimidate the man on behalf of the mayor.
How about your reputation now?
I'd never be published again! I relent!
Much to the mayor's assistant Jean-Marc's disapproval, we are successful.
So, turns out, all those paintings were real after all. Problem solved.
Wonderful, wonderful. The mayor shall be so pleased.
Sure.
Was Professor Shiftaker happy to change his mind?
He wasn't initially, but he came round in the end.
Oh, my lord. This is not right.
Trust me, I've done much worse.
We shall burn in hell for this.
Here's hoping.
It seems the mayor is not just a friend to the late Angelo Bronte, but also a corrupt official in his own right. One who is ruthless and willing to do whatever it takes to get what it is that he wants from the situation at hand. The second time we meet him, he asks us to force the newspaper tycoon Hector Fellows to fund a new library for the city. Jean-Marc takes issue with this approach, so in our third meeting he asks us to kill Jean-Marc.
My brother, Jean-Marc. We've been so... I promised to change.
I know.
What a silly misunderstanding. You see, the problem is principles will destroy us all.
Sure. As long as you two are friends again.
Yes. And you say you've changed, so we will run the city like men of honor, like you said.
Of course. We will strive to improve the city's moral backbone by any means available to us.
Within reason, yes.
Yes. Within my reason. Because I'm the mayor, Jean-Marc. And I will save you from yourself. Because it's better to get something done than nothing at all, like you said.
Utterly corrupted, Lemieux. You've not changed at all. I've been supplanted in your esteem by a wanted murderer. You shame me.
No, sir. You shame me with your vain naivete. Oh, how I long for the luxury to have principles such as you. But I must actually do things.
I see now. You're lost to reason.
Yeah. And I see now that you're a horrible little wretch and a sinner yourself. Your sin is deluded vanity. Now, sir, I am afraid that you must kill him. I will pay you handsomely. And Jean-Marc, I will miss you. I really shall.
Kill him.
It must be so. Please.
You're not really going to kill me, are you?
Thought I might.
But all I did was love too much.
Love?
My duty.
Yeah, but you're running your
I'll
mouth
leave you out of
about
it.
me, buddy. And him.
He'll betray you just like he's betrayed me. Lemieux's a foul rat. But I'm a man of my word. Let me live and I'll destroy him. And I'll make sure you're left well alone. Come on, please, come on. You wouldn't shoot a sad little man, would you?
We can kill or spare Jean-Marc, leading to differing outcomes.
The mayor's orders is the mayor's orders, see? You should have stayed in line. I might be a brute, but I'm not a paid killer. Get out of here. Don't mention me, boy.
I give you my word!
Either way, this is the end of that stranger mission line. If we kill him, we have to dump his body in the swamp, and then we can fish out a severed arm later on that Arthur or John will identify as Jean-Marc's, and the mayor will stay in office. However, if we spare Jean-Marc, the mayor will resign after Jean-Marc went public with his corruption, impeaching Henri Lemieux and becoming mayor himself. With Angelo Bronte and the mayor taken care of, there is one last avenue in Saint Denis' corruption to explore.
Come on, please. I didn't take much. You bastard!
See what you get when you cross me?
Let me guess. He scuffed your boot.
Are you trying to rile me up?
The police of Saint Denis also have their fair share of corruption. As we know, the police chief Lambert is in the back pocket of Angelo Bronte, at least until we sorted him out. We can see his men enforcing heavy-handed tactics against petty criminals throughout the streets, and even overhear people talking about how they're locking people up simply to fill up the cells. Some appear to be power mad, and whilst that's not quite corruption, it may as well be. But for those who don't lean into the corruption of this big city, it doesn't end well for them. In the Saint Denis Times, issue number 46, we can read an article titled "Lawman Found Dead." It tells us that Henry Jenkins was a veteran of the force and reads as follows. Officer Henry Jenkins was found dead last Tuesday of a gunshot to the head, in what has been described as an ambush that left veteran officer slumped forward in his outhouse near the abode that he shared with his wife of 20 years. Jenkins had led an investigation against prominent local businessman Angelo Bronte, 55, who resides in a mansion on Flavian Street. Mr. Bronte has long been a supporter of local constables and law enforcement and frequently appears at social events celebrating Saint Denis politicians. Some have accused Bronte of being involved in a syndicate that deals in smuggling and racketeering, though numerous officials vouch for him as a fine member of the local business community. They say that his Italian heritage is being held against him and that Bronte is a great benefit to the community, contributing to fundraisers for local schools as well as supporting causes to help infirm and elderly. So it's not just money that keeps the police in line, it's also fear that prevents them from interfering in the city's unsavoury individuals' activities. As we know, Henry Jenkins was almost certainly onto something. However, Angelo Bronte, no doubt with aid from resources from within the police force of the city, had him silenced. Sadly, it seems there is no protection from the corrupt reality of this cesspit of a city's governance, and it seems as if nothing changes. We can be ambushed by Bronte's men even after his death, suggesting killing Bronte did not end the crime syndicate that he was leading. And come the epilogue, we learn that the organisation has been taken over by Angelo Bronte's right-hand man, Guido Martelli.
Hold on.
What?
Careful.
Why?
Those are Guido Martelli's men.
Who?
He used to work for Angelo Bronte.
I've only been here an hour.
Hey! Come over here.
What now?
Well, you go left, I go right.
You see any law?
Not yet.
Keep your eye out. Saint Denis ain't short on police.
I remember that. Only too well.
Anyone?
Good so far. Further we get from those gunshots, better chance we have. Of denying it, at least.
No, we can't get caught. Martelli has the police chief in his pocket. If they take us in, we won't get out of the interview room.
I don't want to get in a shootout over this. That's not the man I try to be anymore.
No, I don't want that either. You see anything? I think we're clear.
If I ever want to go back, remind me that I hate Saint Denis.
Guido Martelli will happily remind you of that.
So come the epilogue, regardless of our efforts and whatever we do, Saint Denis is just as corrupt as it has ever been. Simply put, the city of Saint Denis is so deep in its own corruption that it is far beyond the prospect of being saved. No matter what we do, no matter what anybody does, there will always be another parasite sucking the blood and the life from this metropolis. So it should be no wonder a place like this would be the perfect place for a vampire to call home. But Saint Denis, sadly, is just a well-oiled machine of corruption, whether it be the police force, the mayor's office, or even just the business side of things. No matter what, there is always something unethical going on under the table. And in fairness, this video only scratches the surface, but I feel like we've covered the main stuff. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be super fantastic. And if you like history, maybe check out my history channel Decades, which you can do via a link in the description. And of course, with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point. But until next time, please take care and goodbye.